But I have to tell you that this emeritus thing it's two-edged, okay? It's a nice honor. But once you figure out what the word really means, it's a little humbling. You know, it's a compound Latin word. E means you're out, and meritus means you deserve it. So it's a little humbling. But, you know, it's also a title with which you can take some license. So I want to take a little license based on that emeritus title and break the cone of silence and tell you what really gets talked about in faculty meetings. I've been around a long time, 46 years. I've been in a lot of faculty meetings, all different disciplines, but especially in science, engineering, and technology. And they talk about all the usual things, but what they keep coming back to are two things. One is, wow, the science is so exciting. The technology is so high in potential. It's just a stunning time to be engaged in all the STEM disciplines. I wish I could be young again and start into this. And that's followed about 15 seconds later by, well, maybe not, because I couldn't compete with these kids. What we're getting from the faculty is two observations. There is a dynamite era of opportunity to move science and technology forward and benefit the world. But the young minds that are coming with that brilliance and that dedication that I mentioned earlier, they're stunningly good. Now, I mention that because I think it's relevant to ARCS. You know, I always tell my students, let's start by identifying carefully the assumptions we're working with. And I would say the same thing to you about ARCS. What are the assumptions that underlie ARCS? The first one is that science and technology are a profoundly important way to make the world better. And the second premise is that the individuals, those dedicated, energetic individuals, are the key to achieving that change the world opportunity. So there's two premises underneath ARCS. One is the power of science and technology. The other is the essential requirement for young talent. And so what the faculty are telling us is that not only are those assumptions historically true, we can look back and see how much the world has been impacted by science and technology. And we know how important the key thought leaders have been. But what the faculty are telling us is that is still true. It's not just a historical observation. It's a forward-looking potential. Therefore, the mission of ARCS is as relevant as ever. The potential for impact is absolutely stunning. So I would suggest that we actually don't have assumptions in the case of ARCS. We don't even have hypotheses in the scientific term. We have facts. Maybe a theorem. What do you think? The ARCS theorem. Investing in these young people in science and technology is a very high leverage, high impact way to make the world better. The evidence is very, very clear. We also know something else, that the ARCS organization, its mission, its energy, its principles, have led to a record of outstanding stewardship of the gifts we make. They use their money really, really wisely and with very high impact. Almost all the money goes directly to those young talents that we're trying to help. So the bottom line I would suggest is ARCS, contributions to ARCS, is a really smart way to use our philanthropy. A smart way, a high leverage way a high return on investment way to make the world better. Today, that smart investment is advantaged further by Barbara Gosling's offer to match every gift of $250 or more up to a total match of $25,000. Huge opportunity. So I want to ask the table captains to distribute the contribution forms and the envelopes around your table. And while that's happening, I just want to emphasize that key point. If one of your goals in your charity is to make the world better, this is a very, very effective way to do it. It's a smart way to use your resources to advance the world in a way that we know works. Thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you, Dr. Huntsman. That was fantastic wrap-up for us. And Hanson, thank you so much for contributing today. We're so lucky to have two tremendous people join us today to make our program extra special. I'm going to give you a few more moments to fill out your pledge cards, but we just want to thank you so much for coming today. Everyone in this room is so generous for being here, and we just appreciate all that you have done for ARCS in the past and continue to do. We have just the most incredible members. So thank you so much for being here today.